Good day, one and all. Welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. I should say an episode that had already started, but my camera wasn't working, and it was working, but it wasn't recording on the computer like I thought it was. So I already have part of this card done. So I'm going to just basically start and tell you what I've done. All right, I am making a card today based on this past Friday's Craft Roulette Challenge, episode number 231. If you're unfamiliar with Craft Roulette, in the description box below this video, I will have a link to that episode. They spin a wheel every Friday and give you the parameters that you need to make either a card or some sort of project. So for today's project, we needed to make something that was outside / inside. The colors we needed to do on our card, I'm making a card, so I need to use the colors of tulips, and it has to have some sort of a festival element to it, and random, it has to have checks on it. So I am making a 5x7 card. This measures 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it at the 5-inch mark, folded it, creased it with my bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, any sharp object, you can even use a marker, just something that will give you a nice crisp edge. And I have already cut out my fall shapes. For the colors, when I thought of tulips, I was thinking of red and yellow. But so I started looking at tulips online, and I found this absolutely gorgeous tulip called the Orange Queen tulip. And it's like a bright orange and yellow. And then, of course, the foliage is green. So those are the colors I'm going to go with today. And since I'm throwing pumpkins in there, I'm going to add a little bit of brown to coordinate with the pumpkins, because the town next to me has an annual pumpkin fest every year, and it's a big celebration where they even drop giant pumpkins and smash cars with them. But I set up as a vendor at the local farmers market, so I thought farmers and pumpkins would be a nice mix for this. Now, for my sentiment, I'm also using another Spellbinders. I guess today's a Spellbinders day. This is the welcome sign and sentiments, and I have stamped already loads of pumpkins. So from the trucking through the seasons, I picked the truck, of course, the tires, and this small pumpkin, and that's the only thing I'm using from this set. But from Thankful Tractor, I'm using this large pumpkin and a large gourd, and then, of course, the tops for the pumpkins and gourds. And I have already die cut and I ink blended them. For the large pumpkins, I used a combination of sweet mango on the bottom with the darker areas. Let me pull one up. The darker areas, tomato soup. Just kind of gives you a shaded pumpkin. For the gourds, I used wild dandelion as the base, and then sweet corn on top of that to give it kind of my own color. And then I added a little bit of warm cocoa highlights to make them look brown in spots, because gourds are different shaded. I'm trying to work on my shading. And I have cut 3 gourds, 3 large pumpkins. And then for the small pumpkins that came from the first set, I just did those in the sweet mango with more tomato soup because I wanted them to be a little bit deeper color. For the truck, I used my alcohol ink markers, and I just I went with G840 deep green to make some highlights, and G448 dark green to color the truck. And then I just kind of scribbled it because I want it to be, see if I can get it up there for you without it being blurry. You're not going to see most of the back of this truck because it's going to be filled with pumpkins. But I wanted this to look like an old, beat-up farm truck. For the fenders, I just used light gray. It's actually BG080 Cool Gray. And I'm going to stickles or Winkostella on top of this to make it look like silver. I did the same colors for the side view mirrors, and then I just used black for the tires. Okay. That's as far as I had gotten. I need to move these off to the side, and I'm going to put them in my little tray here because now I need to do the inside of the card. For this, you need 2 pieces of 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 white cardstock, and you need a scrap piece of acetate. So for the inside of my cardstock, I'm going to use a waffle flower stencil. And I had that here when I first started what I thought was first starting to record. All right. It's here. Mr. Stencil. Aha, there you are. Okay, this is from Waffle Flower. This is the Holiday Stripe Stencil. And I'm going to put this on my card, and I'm going to be using sweet corn and sweet mango. Now, this stencil doesn't totally fit the 5x7 card frame. And it has all these little pieces that stick up, so you can't do your usual twirling motion. You have to go one way. You can go back and forth, but you just can't go in a circle, or otherwise you will be lifting up these little stripe portions, and it will look even more of a mess than what it may look when I get done with it. Now I'm going to stop here because my stencil doesn't fit all the way. I'm going to slide it over and try to get this lined up. All right, there's 2 lines with the center. All right, this is not going to work as easily. I would love it if companies made stencils for 5x7 cards. Wouldn't that be great? These are made more for the USA 2, and this is just not lining up at all. All right, so I'll just pick an area and go for it. It may look funky, but it's going to be the inside of the card, and it's going to have the truck on it. So we'll just make it work. I'm doing, oh, it actually wasn't so bad. Now I would normally wash this off, but I'm just going to go in, and if you turn the stripe the other direction, you will get a checkered plaid. Oh, that was my put my yellow brush into the orange. Not the end of the world. Now I'm just going to go down, and I'm going to go a little bit heavier handed. I'm not smashing my bristles, but I am using some pressure. I want the orange to show up a little bit more than the yellow did, because I'm going with a pumpkin theme here. Now see if I can get this to line up any better. Hard part is you want your orange to show there. I actually think I got it. Now I just need to slide it up. This one worked much better. Okay, see how that looks. Not bad at all. Now I am going to set this aside, and then I'm just going to use, I have GinaK's Tidy Towel here. This was something I had seen, and I wasn't sure, is it going to be worth the investment? And my gosh, it is worth the investment. It really just cleans these things off. I don't have to worry about squirting my water where it doesn't need to go. All right, done with the stencil. Set that aside. And I'm just going to clean up my mat because I am done. I wish you could have seen the stenciling of the pumpkins. And I thought for a moment about starting over, but I already had these pumpkins colored and I didn't want to waste them. I'm just going to set this aside and put it back on its plastics here. The original covers for this were so wrinkled. I just pulled out 2 8.5 by 11 sheets of acetate, and that's what I'm using. Okay. Now, for the card. This piece will go on the inside. I'm going to glue that down later. This piece is going to go on the outside, and I'm using, I don't know what company this is from. This is a square with a rounded corner stitched rectangle. And I want to put this on the card, but I want to put a saying on it too. And I was thinking of using, I'm thankful for a friend like you. And this is from Spellbinders Clear Stamp and Die of the Month for September 2023. Now, I was originally thinking of putting this in the center, but I'm thinking now that I want to move this over and have the saying here and put some pumpkins down here. So I'm going to stamp this. And I guess I wasn't done ink blending because I want to shade this edge. I'm just putting this down here so I can see my placement. And then I'm going to get that like that. And I'm going to use VersaFine Clair in the color Acorn. It's kind of a reddish brown. That's perfect. And listen to that, squeaky clean. And I like that because I can just take that over to the sink and rinse it out with some warm water. And I store it in a baggie while I'm down here. If it dries out, you just run it under warm water again. All right. Now I am going to stencil. I'm just going to do it on the top of my mat here because I don't need to hold this down. I'm going to take some of this warm cocoa and just go around the edge. Bring it in lightly. And this works. I put it on. I could have put it on my glass mat too. But when I'm wanting to turn something, instead of me turning, I can turn this stencil. I would love to find. Yeah, I like the looks of that. I would love to find like a flat surfaced Lazy Susan type thing. Or I think they call them a turntable now. Which to me, a turntable is a record player. So that I could put my grip mat on there and turned it at the same time. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, now I need to glue this to the front when I'm done. But in the meantime, I need to get out my large cutting mat. I'm just going to place this where I want this on the card because I'm going to cut out my rectangle now. And pardon me, I need to turn this where I can see this. And I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to hold them together once I get it where I want it to be. Just so that my pages don't shift on me. And I want this to cut right here. Okay, put the top plate on. And since I'm going through some heavy surfaces, I think I want to use the metal shim that goes with this because I am cutting into the glass mat and I'm just going to lay that on top. And yes, I haven't taken it out of the plastic. There's no need to. All right, let's run this through my machine. Okay. Now I'll need my little bowl here. Okay. And hopefully this went all the way through. If not, I'm going to leave that in place and go back to cut the second layer. All right, now that should have done that. And don't worry, the metal shims do curl, but it doesn't affect their use. Now, where's my little... Okay. That's just a little magnetic bolt. Says Pittsburgh Automotive on it. My friend got me that. I use it to hold metal dies and things. Okay. Well, I got it. Now see here, my washi tape did tear my paper a little bit. So I'm going to take my brown and just cover that up. All right, so now let's set this off to the side. I need to take my piece of acetate, which was just here. No, I don't find that one, but I have another piece. Not really. That one's got... Oh, it should be here. Mr. Acetate, you were just here. Okay, I'm going to try something I haven't tried yet. I'm going to try pausing this recording, and hopefully I'll be able to come right back with a piece of acetate. Okay, I think it resumed, and I didn't have to go anywhere. My acetate is right here. That was quick and clever, but it also helped me to figure out how to pause recording in this software. Now this I'm going to put on the back of here, and hopefully it's just the right size. I'm just making a window. So what I'm going to do is take my erase tape runner, and I'm just going to go around the window. Don't really need to do it at the top and the bottom because my scrap piece of acetate is almost exactly the size I need it to be. So I just want to make sure I get it centered in the window. And I'm just going to clean it off here a little bit because it has some fuzzies on it. And I'm just fitting it over the window and inside the card. Aha. And now I will take these two and glue them down. Let's move you over there. I don't need that anymore. Okay. Now where the acetate is, I'm going to put glue, but I'm also going to throw in some tape runner just to play it safe. Okay. Now this, I want to get down right over that window. Just like that. And now I'm just going to put down my acrylic block on here. Set these aside. Now these I could use for something else. I will save those definitely. Okay, that should be adhered enough. And boy, I'm getting stuff all over today. This is just some, it looks like fuzzies. Probably from when the gas company was here yesterday. They drilled a hole right through the basement wall. This down here doesn't bother as much because it's going to be covered by the paper. And this is coming off easily, so it's not ink. I think it's just dust fuzzies from the cement. Okay. Now this is going to get glued right in here. Yeah, even the back of that paper has it. Either that or my large platform needs a good cleaning, which it probably does. Okay. I'm just going to crease this again because it went through flat. It just needs a good creasing. All right. Okay. See, I got my cards a little not cut quite straight. So let's even that up right now. just going to trim it that way, trim it that way. Yeah, looks fine inside. Now this is where the truck is going to go on the inside, and I've got a little fuzzy on my acetate. That is adhesive. Okay, so where did my adhesive eraser go? It's just right here. There it is. All right. So I want to put the truck here. Just like that. So that's where that's going to get glued down. And I'm going to take the tires and slip them under as soon as I get that glued down. Truck's going to go right there. And I said most of this back bed will be covered up with pumpkins and such. All right. So now I'm going to take the large pumpkin. I want a large one right in the center. With a gourd off to the side. And two gourds. One gourd behind the pumpkin. Okay. So I'm going to lift the pumpkin up a little bit. One nice thing about the liquid glue is you can pick it up for a few minutes. And that's going to be hanging out of the truck. This one will be on top. And I'm not putting them down farther because that's where the fender is going to go down here for one. So let's put the fender on now. That one I haven't glued yet. And then I've got, while I have it in my hand, one of the side view mirrors. This is the one for over here. And you're not going to see a whole lot of the side view mirror, but I wanted to put it on anyhow. Just because. And I put the glue on the wrong side of that one, but it's okay because the gourd's going to be on it. Yeah, you're really not going to see that one hardly at all, but you can tell it's there. Now, for the back part of the truck, I cut out 3 of the shapes, and this comes with the stamp set. I just did 3 of them because I wanted the truck layer to be up a little higher, and I am going to take some foam tape and put behind that, and my hands are very sticky, so let me get my wet one here. I'm just going to use a foam strip and pop up the truck bed. And that goes right in the center. Now I want to take the little pumpkins and put them on the side. One on this side and one on this side. And they kind of cover up the tailgate opening. Come on, glue. There we go. It's like the pumpkins, he's got so many in the truck, they're falling out. And I'm going to lift that up just a little to put that behind. All right. Yes, so then you see the truck through there. Now I'm going to put some pumpkins out here. I've got 2 of these pumpkins. No, I think just 1 pumpkin and 1 gourd here. And then I'm going to put the other pumpkin. No, we'll save that for the envelope. Okay, so the gourd I'm going to lay down flat. And the larger pumpkin I want to pop up just a little. And these foam strips, they're barely 1/8 of an inch thick. So you don't get a whole lot of height from them, but just enough to give a little shadow effect. And add a little depth and dimension to your card. Okay, and I want that to kind of go there. Now, I was going to put some tail lights on the truck, but I didn't think I left room for them. But I think I may have these. These are flat, shiny stickers. They're like from the kids section at Dollar Tree. And they kind of have these orangish yellow. And I want to see how that looks on there. I know it's on the fender, but it actually looks kind of cool. So since you can't see his bed, he's got his lights on his fender. And I'm going to Wink of Stella this. This should dry fairly quickly. I'm just going to put that right on the bumper. And I put the stickers on first, just in case this Wink of Stella caused them not to stick. That just gives a little shine. And I think I'll put a little bit on the pumpkins too. We're just going to shine those pumpkins up. Pardon me while I get a drink of Kool-Aid here. Oh, okay. And now I'm going to shine up this pumpkin. But you know what? I'm thinking to do a little something more than just a Wink of Stella. Stickles. I'm going to use Icicle, which is kind of a golden yellow color. It's meant to be white and clear, but the glitter in it has a golden yellow sheen. So let me try that on. I'm going to try it on this pumpkin to see if I like it. And I lost the lid on the floor. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And then I'll paint it on. And stickles will dry flat. So if you leave an area that is slightly elevated, it will dry flat on you. So unlike like liquid pearls, they will dry 3-dimensional. I'm not going to put this on the inside pumpkin. For one, I don't want it to stick to the window. Smooth that around, and I might as well finish this pumpkin while I'm here. And then I just need to add a few little gems to this. Might as well finish this pumpkin real quick. Okay, I'll set that aside to dry. All right, I have some gems. thought about trying some orange on here just to see how these color. And when I'm doing that, I like to use the fatter end. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm going to do, I'm just coloring some of that. And do I have a darker brown, or how would this brown look? Oh yeah, okay. So I'll do an even amount of the darker and the orange. Now, I'm just coloring flat rhinestones with alcohol ink markers, and you see how nicely they color. If by the end of the strip I'm done and I haven't used these colors down here, you can just take rubbing alcohol, clean those off, and color them again. No need to buy clear rhinestones anymore, or other colored rhinestones anymore. All right, now there's some black in there. I'll get there. We go. That's just fuzz. All right, I'm going to put a gold one there. And I think I'll do a brownish gold and an orange up in that corner. You can see how that pumpkin just sparkles. And put one down there. Oh, it needs a few more than that. I think I'll put 2 orange down here. And I need something up here. But where? That's always the question. Where would it look the best? I don't want to go in the corner again. But perhaps I will. Well, I'll do up there what I did here. Okay, that's enough. All right, this is my card for today. Now let me see if I have met all the parameters. The project has to be inside, outside. You can see the inside of the card from the outside of the card. So I think I've covered that parameter. Colors of tulips, and I went with the orange queen tulip, which is oranges and yellows. And then the greens that goes with the tulips. And then I added pumpkins, so I added a little bit of brown for the pumpkins. The element, it has to be a festival. This is meant for the pumpkin festival or a harvest festival, but we have a pumpkin festival here. And checks. Yep, I have a checkered plaid background. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I do apologize for not having a video yesterday. The gas company was here and took the meter from outside and put it in, or from inside and put it outside. They're still here today digging along the curb, taking out the old gas line. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.